Welcome to the Predeparture webinar for Go Long Families, hosted April 2019. I'm Molly Rowe, and I'm the Director of Global Opportunities here at Susquehanna University. I have studied abroad throughout my undergraduate and graduate educations, as well as worked extensively through international education, as well as abroad.
And I'm Ariana Stool, the Study Away Advisor. I also studied abroad as an undergraduate student, have worked internationally, and am a mom of 2 kids.
Today we'll be reviewing what the expectations that we have of both Susquehanna's Go program as well as your student, some preparation and logistics questions that we normally get, as well as health and safety, emergency response, and other access to consulate information. Please note that your student has a lot of information specific to their program already. They get detailed information both from Go, but then also from the program provider and university where they will be. Please ask your student first with any questions that you have prior to asking Go staff. The likelihood is that they have that information. Go is here to help facilitate the process of study away and provide pre-departure workshops and resources to your student. Go monitors what's happening throughout risk management partners as well as through the State Department. We expect students to be an active participant in their program, and there's a lot that must be completed by them. You'll see this throughout the next slides, that there are a lot of expectations we have from the student. Students have paperwork and applications for both Go as well as their program partner. We are also both, as Go and the program partner university, resources for the students to ask questions if anything is still unclear. We do expect students to continue to monitor and respond to their SU email throughout the Go process, starting back with their initial application to Go and continuing until they return to campus from their time away. Part of the Go requirement includes a preparation course and pre-departure meetings during the semester prior to departure. It's during these that students will receive important information as we walk them through the process. These meetings are with other students that are going away for the semester. The preparation course includes culture-based research by the students, and then the students also pick at least one workshop outside of course time from budgeting, traveling, packing, sustainability, and co-root breathing. Additionally, there is a required health and safety workshop, which is led by a Go staff member to review important health, safety, and security information. Students must have valid travel documents and, if needed, visas for their time away. We recommend that students are working with Study Away partner for visa advice, as visa needs and regulations vary by country and by program. The program's portal has a wealth of information for students to reference, and they will be able to provide further details on the application process to the students. The program partner will know when they need to apply, if it is something that needs to happen in advance in person or once they get there in person. Again, this is all information that has already been shared with students. Students must attend and follow the instructions provided to them during their on-site orientation. It's also a time where additional details may be determined depending on the program. That's okay. We do expect students to share information with you. Students should be able to ask questions and problem solve when they're completing the Go process. Students should also be spending time researching their host country. There are a lot of resources to do that, including guidebooks, local host country news, the U.S. State Department, the World Fact Book. These are all resources where they can learn about health and safety issues at their destination and study the cultural and political climates. We expect students to follow directions and advice as well as communicate with the Go program, their host study abroad program provider, the host university, and or the program directors who are on site. Regarding any student health issues in particular, we're able to best help the student if they share information with us regarding health and accommodations early, but then also throughout their time, we're able to help them if they're in communication with us. Students are told to have their travel documents, but also have copies of their travel documents, their passport, health insurance information, a copy of the visa, their acceptance letter, sharing flight information, having additional contact information for their on-site partners, having the contact information for their bank or credit card, additional medical information, identification documents such as a driver's license, etc. We recommend that you review the student's personal budget. We do have budget sheets that we will touch on in a little bit in this presentation, but we also provide as go a budget sheet for each program for each semester for an idea of what things may cost. You can search by program name and get into that more detail for your particular student's program. We expect the student to complete the entire application process. This includes information on their host program's webpage as well as their Apply to Go application. There are also resources for students in their Apply to Go application that they still have access to, such as the learning content and health and safety documents. They can continue to review these over the summer as well as once they're getting ready to leave. Your student is required to register with the U.S. State Department using the Smart Travelers Enrollment Program, or STEP. The website is on the screen. To complete this process, your student will need their passport and travel plans handy. They should at least do it for the place that they're going before they leave. If they have any additional side trips, they should register those before they depart. Each program is different, and therefore it's important to discuss the living arrangements with your student for their specific program and what they've put in as a preferred living arrangement. They've requested options such as dorms, program managed apartments, or pre-vetted host families during the application process. Programs are sharing the information regarding housing directly with the students. This includes what amenities are part of the program. It's important to review this information to know what's included and what the student is expected to bring or get in country. Please have your student look at the information that is shared with them regarding their living arrangements. As I mentioned earlier, the budget sheets are online estimates of what the semester will be. Each semester and each program has a budget sheet. Go Long students are charged SU tuition and fees and for the room of the program. If applicable, we also charge for the board. That will be outlined on that budget sheet if it is a billable expense or a non-billable expense. Billable items are billed through the normal Susquehanna billing process. There are some additional costs which are under that estimated non-billable side, such as possibly meals, airfare, immigration documents, local transportation, books and supplies, etc. Please plan a budget with your student so that there aren't any questions or surprises on how much they are spending throughout the semester. Exchange rates do fluctuate throughout the time that they are in country, so having an idea of what the current exchange rate is would be helpful. xe.com is one example of a website. There are other ones as well. We advise students against students opening a local bank account. Many countries actually do not allow international students to open a bank account. We recommend that students use ATMs to get money. Students can get some money exchanged prior to departure at a bank depending on the currency of where they're going, but the local ATMs, especially ones that are attached to a bank, are a great resource to get some local cash. Please be aware that your bank may charge additional international fee, so shop around for credit or debit cards. There are banks that reimburse fees or have no international transaction fees. Whichever bank your student uses, please make sure that the bank knows where they will be traveling so that there's no surprises and they do not shut down the card. I do want to highlight that certain countries are starting to require a PIN and chip versus a chip and sign credit card. Europe is heavy with this system. The US is starting to catch up, but that might be also something to look at with the specific program and location where your student is going. Setting up a communication plan and knowing what communication methods you're going to be using with your student is important. Students and families connect through a variety of ways. Some students will use a cell phone abroad through an international plan, purchase a local SIM card, or do a pay-as-you-go type of method. Students typically have relied on Wi-Fi apps and pay-as-you-go SIM cards for the semester because international plans can get very expensive very fast. Students should be checking their SU email as well as a program email if they've been issued one, and be in contact with the Go program through email. Wi-Fi apps are widely used. Your student probably knows of a lot of them and are already using quite a few of them, but there are plenty of Wi-Fi apps that are able to be used instead of a data plan. And we have shared information about some different apps that your student may want to use on their Apply to Go application already. We do recommend that students have saved in their phone the local emergency numbers. They should be in contact with the program provider and Go, as well as family and friends. That being said, we recommend that you set up a communication plan. Know that you may not speak to your student right away when they arrive, depending on the landing time and different process of going through immigration and customs and getting to an area where they actually have service. That being said, have a backup plan as well. Additionally, throughout the semester, set upon agreed communication times so they're able to continue to immerse themselves in the program, the academics, and the culture.
Okay, this is Ariana. We're switching gears to talk about health and safety issues. We focus our training with students during the semester before they go on prevention, awareness, and knowledge. So we're equipping students to have the knowledge and the skills to help keep themselves safe. That health and safety workshop which they attend, which is about an hour and a half long, covers all of the topics that you see on the slide, and additionally has scenarios regarding safety and security situations. So a little bit on each of these. For personal health, it's a good idea to have your student see a doctor here at home before they travel. We've already reviewed important information with students about how some prescription medications available in the US are illegal in other countries, including some common medications for the treatment of ADHD or anxiety and depression. Students know they'll need to do a bit of research to find out if their medications are legal and what to do if they are not. You could also help them with this. Information is available at the US Department of State Consular Information page. For health insurance, all Go Long students are automatically enrolled in Go's Emergency Insurance Policy Plan. This covers students in emergency situations, but does not cover high-risk activities such as skydiving, scuba diving, or other forms of diving. For students who need additional coverage, they should first check with their insurance provider from back home to see if those insurances will extend while they're abroad. Some study abroad providers automatically enroll students into their insurance plans, which will cover them while abroad. If your student is not covered by their domestic health insurance and not covered by their program provider's insurance, then they need to alert Go. For a fee, we can help enroll them in GeoBlue, an insurance plan which specializes in study abroad participants. High-risk activities, as I mentioned. Students need to avoid these activities as they are not covered by insurance and put the students at a higher risk. Drugs and alcohol. While the drinking age in many of the countries our students will be in is different from that of the US, students are asked to limit their alcohol intake and to not engage in any recreational drug use. Excessive drinking can lead to disciplinary action and puts them at a much higher risk of becoming a victim. We've talked to them about this time and time again. Transportation. Students are aware they need to make sure they always take valid and professional transportation services. Their on-site program director or their program provider is going to be providing students with reliable transportation information during their orientation after they've arrived. Students are to avoid renting cars as they're not usually knowledgeable of local driving laws. Knowledge of local safety issues. Again, we've encouraged students to watch the local news and read the newspapers of the places they are going, and they already know they need to enroll with the U.S. State Department's Smart Traveler Enrollment STEP program. in addition to having a general knowledge of the local safety issues. In addition to those things, the study abroad programs have on-site orientations, which students will participate on directly after arrival. During the orientation, students will review important information for how to enroll in courses if they have not already, and about cultural and safety concerns where they are at. They'll also learn about emergency response. Students should review the fire safety information of their host housing, know the local location of police stations, and understand where the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate is, plus follow all other instructions given by their program provider. Terrorism and political unrest. Unfortunately, these things can happen at any time, anywhere. Students have been prepared, and we've talked to them about keeping a low profile, paying attention to local news reports on current conditions, and at all times, limit their wearing of clothing and accessories that would identify them as an American citizen or a U.S. college student. And crime, violence, sexual harassment, and assault. Students are advised to travel alone, and we've talked to them about always informing someone, if not multiple people, where they will be and where they are going. Any incidences should be reported to the host program provider and the Go program right away. If students find themselves in an emergency situation, they should be aware of the emergency number in their host country. We had them look these up and write them down during the health and safety training. This information can be found on the U.S. State Department website, in case they haven't done that already or you would like to look it up. Students should also contact their program provider or the Go program for assistance in looking for that information on the travel.state.gov website. SU's emergency response. At those health and safety trainings with students, all participants obtained important information needed to identify health and safety risks and how to communicate to the appropriate persons when needed. All of our students became acquainted with a framework for emergency response and for situational awareness and communication. Once students are received at their programs, they will be receiving additional site-specific safety and emergency information directly from their program providers during the orientation. In the event of an emergency or a disaster, Susquehanna staff closely monitors and receives daily, if not by-the-minute notifications from our risk management insurance provider in real time of issues domestic and abroad. So, students have some responsibilities when it comes to emergency preparedness. As we've talked about already, it's important for students to register with the U.S. State Department's STEP program before departure for their program, and again for each side trip they intend to take while they are abroad for the semester. A side trip is any time students are away from their host program or accommodations, even for one night. Students are also responsible for knowing their local emergency numbers. During their orientation on site, their host universities or partner programs or program directors will be providing students with important emergency contact information, such as the local emergency equivalent number to 911 and the host university after-hours number. It's also important for students to know and understand the host university emergency plan. Again, this will come during orientation. They'll learn information regarding fire safety, emergency meeting points, where the nearest police station is, where the nearest local hospital is, and where the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate is. Side trips. In addition to registering with STEP, as we have mentioned a few times now, students are also required to register with the Go program to let us know of their side trips. They do this on their Apply to Go website, and if they're unable to access that form, they can just send goprogram@susquehanna.edu an email letting us know of their side trip location, dates, form of transportation, accommodation information, and a contact number for them. As we noted with students during the health and safety training, when there is a health and safety incident in the student's regional area, country, or city, they are required to check in with their host university or program and with the Go program via email at goprogram.susquehanna.edu to let us know they are safe. Students must follow all directions on the on-site host university or program provider has given them. Here is a list of U.S. Consular Services abroad. A consulate's office is a safe haven for U.S. citizens abroad, and these are the services they provide. Not all consulates' offices provide each service, so we do recommend you visit usembassy.gov to find the nearest consulate to where your student will be and learn more about their services. In an emergency, the U.S. Consulate's office will be your best bet for help. They can help with emergency passport issuance, medical emergencies, providing resources after arrests, and with crisis response. Our primary responsibility is to help prepare students for their Go experience. We work closely with them during the semester before they're off campus, and we're in constant communication with our host partners abroad. However, we're also available to answer your general questions too. Here's how you can get in touch with us. Thank you for listening to this presentation. We would like you to join us on Facebook Live Friday, May 3rd from noon until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any questions that you may have. In fact, if any questions come up between now and then, please use the link below to submit them online, and we'll be able to address them during the Facebook Live event. The link for the Facebook Live event is below. Thank you very much.